Anxiety can feel like an uninvited guest that refuses to leave, can't it? For years, it was my constant companion. Panic attacks that struck out of nowhere. Intrusive thoughts that felt like they'd never stop. And that eerie sense of depersonalization where I barely recognized myself. I've been there, in the trenches, wondering if I'd ever feel normal again. But here's the thing. I didn't just survive anxiety. I learned to understand it, work with it, and ultimately overcome it. And now, I've dedicated my life to guiding others through their own recovery journeys. If you're here, you're not alone, and there's a way forward. Through my work as a mentor, I've had the privilege of walking alongside countless individuals in their anxiety recovery. Each person's story is unique, yet the patterns are strikingly similar. The symptoms, the setbacks, the overwhelming fear, it's all part of the process. But what most people don't realize is that recovery isn't a straight line. It's a series of stages, each with its own challenges and breakthroughs. Understanding these stages is like having a roadmap when you're lost in the woods. It doesn't make the journey easy, but it makes it possible. So, what are these stages, and how can you navigate them without feeling like you're stumbling in the dark? That's exactly what we're going to dive into. Whether you're battling panic attacks, struggling with intrusive thoughts, or feeling trapped in cycles of avoidance, there's a path to freedom. But first, let's talk about why understanding these stages is the key to breaking free from anxiety's grip. Recovery from anxiety isn't a one-size-fits-all journey. It's a deeply personal process that unfolds in stages. Imagine trying to climb a mountain without knowing the terrain ahead. That's what it feels like for many people who are stuck in the cycle of anxiety. Each stage presents its own challenges, and without understanding them, it's easy to feel like you're failing when, in reality, you're just moving through the natural phases of recovery. Recognizing these stages gives you clarity and, most importantly, hope. One of the most common misconceptions about recovery is that it's linear. Spoiler alert, it's not. You might feel like you're making progress one day, only to feel like you've taken 10 steps back the next. That's normal. Each stage comes with its own set of obstacles, from physical symptoms like panic attacks to mental battles like intrusive thoughts. But here's the good news. Identifying where you are in the process allows you to focus on what truly matters, instead of getting overwhelmed by the bigger picture. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. At first you're wobbly, unsure, and maybe even scared. But as you practice, you start to find your balance. The same goes for anxiety recovery. Understanding the stages is like having training wheels. They don't take away the challenge, but they give you the stability to keep moving forward. So, let's take a closer look at the first stage, where it all begins, recognizing that what you're experiencing is in fact anxiety. The first step in recovery is often the hardest, recognizing that what you're dealing with is anxiety. For many, anxiety is misunderstood or dismissed as just being stressed or overthinking. But let's be clear, anxiety is much more than that. It's a physiological response rooted in your nervous system, not just a fleeting emotion. Those racing heartbeats, the tightness in your chest, the intrusive thoughts, they're not signs of something life-threatening. They're your body's way of saying, hey, I'm overwhelmed and I need attention. One of the biggest challenges at this stage is the fear of the unknown. When symptoms like panic attacks or depersonalization strike, it's natural to think, what if this is something serious? Many people fall into the trap of endless doctor visits, convinced there's an undiagnosed illness behind their symptoms. While it's important to rule out medical conditions, understanding that anxiety is the root cause can save you from unnecessary worry and frustration. It's not about ignoring your symptoms, it's about reframing them. Here's a practical example. The next time you feel your heart racing, instead of panicking, remind yourself, this is my nervous system in overdrive, not a heart attack. It's a small shift, but it can make a world of difference. Recognizing anxiety for what it is lays the foundation for everything that follows. And once you've identified it, the next challenge is avoiding the traps that anxiety sets, those sneaky habits that keep you stuck in the cycle. Anxiety is clever. It knows how to set traps that keep you stuck in its cycle. One of the most common traps is self-diagnosis. How many times have you Googled your symptoms only to spiral into even more fear? You start with a racing heart and end up convinced you have a rare, life-threatening condition. This habit of seeking reassurance online only feeds the anxiety monster, making it harder to break free. The truth is, the more you chase certainty, the more elusive it becomes. Another trap is the constant questioning. Is this really anxiety, or is it something worse? This doubt can feel paralyzing, especially when symptoms like intrusive thoughts or depersonalization make you question your reality. But here's the thing, anxiety thrives on uncertainty. The more you try to analyze or fight it, the stronger it gets. Instead of battling your thoughts, try acknowledging them for what they are, just thoughts, not facts. For example, if you think, "What if I lose control?" Remind yourself, that's just my anxiety talking. It's not the truth. And then there's the judgment. Anxiety doesn't just make you feel bad, it makes you feel bad about feeling bad. You might think, "Why can't I just get over this?" Or "What's wrong with me?" But beating yourself up only deepens the cycle. A more productive approach is to practice self-compassion. Imagine a friend coming to you with the same struggles. What would you say to them now? Say that to yourself. Once you stop falling into these traps, you'll be ready to tackle the next stage, breaking free from the cycle of avoidance. Avoidance is anxiety's best friend. It whispers, "If you just stay away from that situation, you'll feel safe." And at first, it works. You skip the meeting, avoid the crowded place, or stay home instead of driving. But here's the catch. Every time you avoid something, you reinforce the belief that the situation is dangerous. Over time, avoidance becomes compulsive, shrinking your world and making anxiety even stronger. The cycle feels endless, but there's a way out. The key to breaking free is acceptance. Not the kind of acceptance where you grit your teeth and hope the symptoms disappear, but genuine acceptance. This means allowing the symptoms to exist without resistance. For example, if your heart starts racing in a social setting, instead of running for the exit, try staying put and observing the sensation. Tell yourself, this is uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous. It's not about liking the symptoms. It's about changing your relationship with them. The more you stop fighting, the less power anxiety has over you. But let's be honest, acceptance isn't easy. It's tempting to think, if I accept this, won't it just get worse? That's another trick anxiety plays. In reality, resistance is what keeps the symptoms alive. When you stop resisting, you create space for the symptoms to fade naturally. It's like letting a wave pass over you instead of trying to fight it. And as you practice this, you'll discover something remarkable. You can live your life even with anxiety tagging along. That's where the next stage comes in. Learning to live fully even when the symptoms are still present. Living with anxiety symptoms might sound counterintuitive, but it's one of the most liberating steps in recovery. Many people believe they need to eliminate every trace of anxiety before they can start living again. But here's the truth. Waiting for the symptoms to disappear only keeps you stuck. The real breakthrough happens when you decide to live your life despite the symptoms. It's not about ignoring them. It's about refusing to let them dictate your choices. Imagine this. You're at a family gathering, and the familiar tightness in your chest creeps in. Instead of rushing to the bathroom to calm down, you stay present. You engage in conversation, even if your mind is screaming at you to leave. At first, it's uncomfortable, but over time, you'll notice something incredible. The more you focus on the moment, on the people, the laughter, the connection, the less power the symptoms have. They might still be there, but they fade into the background as you reclaim your life. This stage is about shifting your focus. Instead of obsessing over how to fix yourself, you start redirecting your energy toward the things that matter. Your passions, your relationships, your goals. And here's the magic. As you live more fully, the symptoms often fade without you even noticing. It's not a quick fix, but it's a powerful one. And when setbacks inevitably come, as they do for everyone, you'll be better equipped to handle them. That's the next challenge we'll tackle. How to navigate those moments when it feels like you're back at square one. Setbacks are a natural part of the recovery process, but let's be honest, they can feel like a punch to the gut. One moment, you're making progress, and the next, it feels like you've been dragged back to square one. But here's the thing, setbacks aren't failures. They're opportunities to learn, to strengthen your resilience, and to remind yourself that progress isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Recovery is a marathon, not a sprint, and setbacks are just part of the terrain. When a setback hits, it's easy to spiral into frustration or self-blame. You might think, why is this happening again? I thought I was past this. But instead of seeing it as a step backward, try reframing it as a test of your progress. For example, if you experience a panic attack after weeks of feeling fine, remind yourself of how far you've come. You've handled this before, and you can handle it again. The key is to respond with the same tools and mindset that helped you move forward in the first place. Setbacks are also a chance to identify what might need more attention. Maybe you've been pushing yourself too hard, or perhaps some old thought patterns have crept back in. Use this time to reflect and recalibrate, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. Recovery isn't about never falling, it's about getting back up every time you do. Once you understand that setbacks are part of the process, you'll be ready to rebuild the confidence that anxiety tried to steal from you. And that's exactly what the next stage is all about. Rebuilding your confidence after anxiety can feel like learning to trust yourself all over again. Anxiety has a way of shaking your belief in your own abilities, making even the simplest tasks feel daunting. But here's the truth. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, brick by brick. And the foundation of this confidence comes from recognizing everything you've already overcome. Every panic attack you've survived, every intrusive thought you've faced, every step you've taken despite the fear. That's proof of your strength. Core confidence is different from surface-level confidence. It's not about being fearless or pretending everything is fine. It's about knowing deep down that you can handle whatever comes your way. For example, if you've avoided driving because of anxiety, rebuilding confidence might mean starting small, driving around the block, then gradually increasing the distance. Each small victory reinforces the belief that you're capable. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. As you rebuild this inner trust, you'll notice something powerful. Your confidence becomes less dependent on external circumstances. It's no longer about whether the situation is safe or comfortable. Instead, it's about knowing that you are enough, no matter what. This shift is transformative, but it also requires addressing the deeper beliefs and patterns that anxiety has ingrained in you. And that's where the next stage comes into play. Identifying and breaking free from those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. Anxiety doesn't just live in your body, it thrives in your mind, feeding off limiting beliefs and unproductive thought patterns. These beliefs often sound like, "I'm not strong enough to handle this," or "what if I fail again?" Over time, they become so ingrained that you don't even realize they're shaping your reality. But here's the good news. Beliefs are not facts. They're stories you've told yourself. And just like any story, they can be rewritten. To start, it's important to identify where these beliefs come from. Maybe they stem from childhood experiences, like being told you weren't good enough, or from more recent events, like a panic attack that left you feeling powerless. Once you recognize these patterns, you can challenge them. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'll never recover," ask, "Is that really true? Or is it just my anxiety talking?" Replace that thought with something empowering, like, "I've made progress before, and I can do it again." Breaking free from limiting beliefs isn't just about thinking positively, it's about taking action. If you believe you're too fragile to try something new, prove yourself wrong by taking a small, manageable step outside your comfort zone. Each time you challenge a belief, you weaken its grip on you. And as you let go of these mental barriers, you create space for something far greater, self-development. That's the final stage of this journey, where recovery transforms into growth and purpose. Recovery is just the beginning. Once the symptoms of anxiety start to fade, a new chapter unfolds, one that's all about self-discovery and growth. This is where you move beyond simply managing anxiety and begin exploring who you are without it. What dreams have you put on hold? What passions have you neglected? This stage is about reclaiming your life and stepping into a version of yourself that anxiety tried to suppress. It's not just about surviving anymore. It's about thriving. As you transition into self-development, you'll notice that the tools you used for recovery are still valuable. Practices like mindfulness, challenging negative thoughts, and setting boundaries don't just help with anxiety. They help you build a life that feels meaningful. For example, if you've learned to manage overthinking during recovery, you can now channel that mental energy into creative projects, career goals, or strengthening relationships. The skills you've gained aren't just for coping, they're for creating. But this stage also requires vigilance. Old habits and thought patterns can creep back in if you're not careful. That's why it's essential to maintain the routines and mindset that supported your recovery. Think of it like tending to a garden. You've cleared the weeds, but you still need to nurture the soil. As you continue to grow, you'll find that the journey doesn't end here. It evolves into something even greater, living fully with purpose, confidence, and joy. Recovery from anxiety is not just a journey, it's a transformation. Each stage, from recognizing the symptoms to embracing self-development, is a stepping stone toward reclaiming your life. But here's the thing, this process isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about showing up for yourself even when it feels hard. Every setback, every small victory, every moment of courage adds to the strength you're building. And that strength, it's already within you, waiting to be unlocked. Now, take a moment to reflect. Which stage resonated with you the most? Are you stuck in avoidance? Or are you ready to start rewriting those limiting beliefs? The answers lie within you, and the next step is yours to take. Remember, this isn't just about managing anxiety. It's about creating a life that feels full, meaningful, and free. And the best part, you don't have to do it alone. This community is here to support you every step of the way. So, what's stopping you from taking that next step? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this video gave you even a spark of hope or clarity, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Together, we'll keep exploring, learning, and growing. Your journey doesn't end here. It's just beginning.